No, I was logged in, yes.
Thank you for joining us for our Oro Inc. Community webinar. Today we are mostly going to focus on our new product, OroCommerce, and we're going to talk about it. So my name is Yoav Kutner. I'm co-founder and CEO here at Oro Inc. And today we're going to just introduce to you who Oro Inc. is, who we are, what we do. We're going to focus, like I said, mostly on giving you a demo of OroCommerce and the latest features we have in the product. We're also going to share with you our roadmap and what we have planned for this year. And we're going to give you some announcements, and we hopefully going to have some time for Q&A. So please use the panel to ask questions. You have a question tab there. You can ask and post your questions there, and we'll start answering them towards the end of the presentation. So just put them write them down as you have the questions. So a little bit about Oro Inc. We started Oro Inc. in October of 2012. It was shortly after I left my previous company that I co-founded called Magento. I was the CTO there since we started the company. I led the product and technology, and specifically the Magento product, since 2007. And I left shortly after the eBay acquisitions, about 8 months after the acquisitions by eBay. That was a bit too soon for me, and I really wanted to create a new company. And luckily for me, I was joined by two of my co-founders that also came from Magento, Jerry Carter. Some of you know him as the VP of Global Sales at Magento, and now our CRO, and Dima Soroka, who was the lead architect of the Magento project and was on the original team that created the product with me and two other developers, and now our CTO here at Oro Inc. We also have some more of the executives from Magento that joined us through the time. So Modi Danino, he was leading the cloud initiative at Magento. Now he's our COO. And Michael Basolov, the original project manager of the Magento project, and now VP of engineering here at Oro Inc. and is leading the OroCommerce product. We were also extremely happy when Roy Rubin, my co-founder at Magento and former CEO, decided to join our board, and he's acting as an advisor at the company right now. So we have a lot of the same team together, and we're excited on creating a new company. Today, Oro Inc. has over 170 employees all over the world almost, and we are headquartered in Los Angeles, California. We have a dev office in Poland where we actually service our EU customers and partners and help them with the implementations on our products. And we have our R&D and services department in Ukraine, where a lot of you know we also developed Magento. And we were actually very lucky because when we started Oro, Magento was downsizing, and we were lucky to hire a lot of the original developers we worked with. So it really feels like we have the whole team back together. We started the business as a bootstrap business. We did some services. Magento asked us to help with some of the big implementations of Magento. We were doing some implementations for Warby Parker, Tom's Shoes, Pete's Coffee, some of the bigger implementations, like I said, and Pete's is actually still a customer, by the way. And that helped us really create a really successful business in this kind of fast. But as we started focusing on products and the momentum we started seeing, we wanted to get a bit more wind in our sails and get everything done a bit quicker and faster and better. So we actually took a first round of investment from a company called Highland Europe, and they invested $12 million in our company just about a year ago. So when it comes to what we actually want to do, what are we passionate about, we have a lot of years of working with merchants from different industries, different markets. But what we did learn is that if we start working with the merchants and businesses we like to work with, no two businesses are alike. They come up with a different set of features and things they need from a technology standpoint, because that makes them unique. There's something that makes them unique, something that makes them successful, and we want to cater to those points that they need in order to be successful with their technology. So we build very flexible tools. We build tools that allow companies to use the tools and technology for their needs, the way they operate, the way they are running their business, and not vice versa, to need to learn how to work with the technology. And that's what we're passionate about. We really like creating these kind of tools and making businesses grow, help them grow, and continue to be successful and become even more successful using technology. We also rely a lot on open source. Again, for us, open source is more of a strategy than a philosophy. It's a great philosophy, but that's not the reason we're using it. We're a small company, headquartered in LA, like I said, but we like to build products for companies that need flexible tools. And using open source allows us to get our products adopted all over the world. We have companies all over the world that are using our products today. And that's because open source is open, right? So anybody can test it, anybody can try it out. But it also allows us to create flexible tools that allow companies to customize them and use them, like we said, to their needs. And as we create successful open source project, an ecosystem starts evolving around our products. And that actually helps everybody that's part of this ecosystem. If you're a developer, if you're a system integrator, if you're actually a merchant using our software, we all benefit from having this ecosystem around our products. And all this together drives a lower total cost of ownership for our customers and users. And that's what we like to look at open source. It's a win-win-win situation. It's something we really, really like and really believe in as a strategy for our company. So like I said earlier, we started bootstrapping by doing some services, but our passion is creating products. And we released our first product just over 3 years ago. The product's called OroCRM. It's a very flexible multi-channel CRM with a little bit of a different take on what a CRM actually should do for a business. It is a real tool to manage the relationships you have with your customers across different touch points or different customer channels, as we call that. So again, I really encourage you to take a look at OroCRM. We have our website, orocrm.com. You can learn a lot about that or join another webinar about that product at a later time. And today, like I said, we're going to talk about OroCommerce. That is our latest product. We just released it just over 2 months ago in the first stable release. It is a B2B e-commerce platform, open source B2B e-commerce platform that solves and is built specifically for the B2B e-commerce merchants and what they need in order to create a successful e-commerce that caters to other businesses. And we'll talk a lot more about that. And our last product I'm going to mention is Oro Platform. Oro Platform is what we call like almost a side product because it's like something we decided to release to the world to help other companies that we know a lot of companies that need custom solutions or create custom features for their needs and what they actually need from a system to work for them. And we decided to create this kind of general purpose business application platform that companies can use in order to create custom applications without the need to develop every time the same features over and over again. So our platform is a set of features that are reusable to create custom business applications. And we see a lot of companies using it for internal use or other companies that are using to build products and release them under either open source or commercial products. So again, if you want to learn about that, it's on our website, oroinc.com. You can learn more about Oro Platform. So we're open source, and we do have 2 editions. We have an enterprise edition and a community edition. So our enterprise edition customers, we know who they are. We have a relationship with them. But part of the problem of having an open source product is we don't really know who is using it out in the world in our community edition because we don't have necessarily a tight relationship with everybody in the community. So the only thing we can kind of test is who's using it and how many people are using it. And what we do have, or the way we do that, we have a script that every time somebody logs into the system, it kind of pings us to get any kind of messages about any updates that we have, etc., for the product. And then we kind of store those requests and we kind of analyze them. So what we do is actually we clean out any kind of dev domains, any kind of temporary AWS domains, and we stay with real domains and see companies that are actually using our product. We then clean them up a bit more to just look at who's actively logging in. So not only once, but who is actually logging in on a consistent basis. And we start storing those numbers. And that's what we show here. We call it Oro Active Installs. And this is global. We get people from all over the world using, and companies all over the world using our products. And we just surpassed about 120,000 active installs of Oro. So again, that's very nice to see how the growth of the usage of our product. And like I said, it's real usage of our product. And I mentioned that we do have adoption globally, and to support this community and ecosystem, we do use our channel, and we rely on our channel and partners that are all over the world to actually help the local implementations of our projects. And we see here a list of them, and again, all of them are very capable. We work very closely with them to make sure that customers and users of our products are very successful in implementations. So today we're here to talk about OroCommerce, and I mentioned kind of B2B e-commerce, and I just want to share with you why we were excited about that and why we thought this is a good time to create this kind of product. And the thing was, mostly through our experience at Magento, we designed Magento to be a very flexible B2C e-commerce platform. But what we started noticing is that more and more merchants and companies that were contacting us were trying to use Magento, we're trying to modify it and customize it to not necessarily the B2C scenario. And when we started investigating it a bit more, we learned that they were actually trying to create a B2B e-commerce, so actually sell to other companies online. Now, Magento was very flexible, or is still very flexible, and people thought that they can get away by customizing it. But then we started learning that there are a little bit or some major features that are actually missing in the platform in the way we designed Magento, and it cannot be actually serving the need of B2B e-commerce. So we decided after a few years of having a CRM on the market and working more and more with companies that are in the B2B space, that there is no really good solution that was designed from the grounds up to solve the B2B e-commerce needs, and that's why we decided to work on OroCommerce. And when we started defining what we're actually trying to solve, we started looking at the different implementations, and we kind of break it into three different use cases that we're solving with OroCommerce. The first one is what we call a self-serve, and that's where maybe you even have a website, you're selling directly to consumers, but then a company contacts you because they like the products, they want to enable their employees to buy off your website. And you know, a lot of times we saw people we worked with and companies we worked with just contact those companies and say, yeah, of course you can buy from us, create one account, share their credentials across the board with all your employees, and that's fine. Well, that doesn't work for companies, right? Because some users have different permissions, some users have different roles in the company, they might see different pricing, they might see different catalog, or different catalog might be available for them. So again, it doesn't scale to use a B2C application when you're trying to sell to a company online. And if you think this is not a big opportunity, well, last year Amazon released a product called Amazon for Business, where Amazon today allows companies to register to Amazon as a company, as a business. And again, exactly what I said, they allow you to create multiple users, allow you to set rules on those users, limitations, payment options, etc. So all these features is something that we believe that the world is evolving. Companies are buying online like consumers, and you have to start catering to them and to their needs if you want to continue doing that. So that's the first use case. The second use case is what most people think about when we talk about B2B is where we have a buyer and seller that are interacting. And usually this scenario starts where a buyer does some research, finds a company or manufacturer that they want to work with because they're interested in their product. And then they'll submit maybe an RFQ or request for a quote or request for pricing. A sales rep or a seller on the other end gets this request, builds the quote, builds the pricing, and then submits it back to the buyer. The buyer and the seller go back and forth, maybe negotiating this pricing, and when the buyer is ready to put in the order and place the order. Now, this scenario and moving this online, like everything else in our life, the B2B world is no different. People are getting used to using online tools to may be more efficient in their life for convenience, right? They want to stop necessarily traveling and meeting face-to-face just to put an order in or create a relationship. So a lot of these relationships are moving online like everything else in our life. And that's a big part of what we think is the B2B e-commerce solution that needs to support. The last one is a B2B marketplace. And if you think about a marketplace, you'll have multiple buyers, multiple sellers interacting in the same place. And we're not necessarily talking about the Alibaba kind of scenario. We're actually talking about maybe more concentrated marketplace where maybe there's a focal company in the middle of the marketplace that's the manufacturer or the main brand, but they want to maybe augment their offering to their customers by providing other vendors to sell on their website. Or another scenario is that maybe they want to have vendors that provide services around their products. So in order to facilitate that, a lot of companies are asking us to create these kind of very specific marketplaces around their products and around their business, and allow basically multiple buyers to interact with multiple sellers by having a buyer maybe open bid, allowing multiple sellers to bid on that, on the services, etc., and having all this facilitated in a central place. And that's a B2B marketplace. Now, the good news is that self-serve and buyer-seller interaction are fully implemented in our product already. We're going to demo this to you today, and we're already working on the B2B marketplace features and hopefully have a lot more of this released later this year. So again, this is something that we're extremely excited about. We're going to demo to you another product, but before we jump into the product demo, we're going to have a quick poll just to learn what kind of platforms are you using right now. And if you look in your in the side panel of the GoToWebinar, you should have the selection, and you can tell us if you don't mind telling us what you're using right now. We'll be very interested. Give you a few more seconds to answer. See more people are answering. All right, so thank you for doing the poll. And now I'm going to hand over to my colleague here, Michael Besilov, our VP of Engineering, to actually start the demo of OroCommerce. Michael?
Okay, perfect, Yoav. So let me share my screen and we can start. Okay, and before I start the actual demo, I just would like to say to everyone that we're really happy that you want to take a look at the features of our product, and we also understand that probably today, like this short meeting will not be enough to show you all the features. So at any time later after the meeting, please feel free to check our public demo that is available on our website. Just go to the orocommerce.com, click on the large orange button, and it will take you to the public demo instance. We also do a lot of private demos. For that, just contact our sales team, or right after this product demo, we will be running another quick poll. So if you would like to see a private demo, if you would like to discuss your specific use cases, to talk about some specific features, please just answer yes, and we will contact you afterwards to do that.
And Michael, I just want to remind everybody to ask questions. Use the question tab in the GoToWebinar panel, and we'll be answering them towards the end of this webinar.
Okay, perfect. So now let's start with some of the B2B e-commerce basics. This is basically what every e-commerce platform, a real e-commerce platform, should have out of the box. And let's take a look how we are addressing these needs of B2B e-commerce businesses in OroCommerce specifically. So let me start first with corporate account management. As you have mentioned, in B2B e-commerce, we are trying to provide the same online experience to the buyers as they are accustomed in B2C, but in this case, we are selling to companies, right? So each of the company, each of the customers may be represented in the system, in the storefront, and by multiple buyers, and some of them need to have different permissions, some of them need to have different payment terms, and this is what corporate account management in OroCommerce allows you to do. So as you can see here, we can actually create as many customer accounts as necessary. We can even create separate customer accounts for different teams, divisions, local branches of your customers, and you can, if necessary, entirely replicate the organizational structure of your customers in case if you want, for example, to have to give different permissions to the users on different levels. So, for example, you can say, okay, maybe just regular buyers on the level of company A East division should be allowed to see only the orders they've submitted themselves. Then for their managers, you can give them permission to be able to oversee all activity in that division. And to the people on the level of company A headquarters, you, for example, can give permission them to oversee all activity, everything that their buyers are doing in the system. You can give them more advanced statistics and reporting about what their employees are buying from you, are buying from your online store. Also, this is what you can see now on the screen. This is the management console, the administrative UI, the back office part of OroCommerce application. But also some of these account management functions can actually be delegated to the customers themselves, which probably should especially be helpful to the in case if you are selling to a larger customer organizations that may have dozens or even hundreds of employees, and if they need ability to manage all their users themselves. So let me switch now to the store frontend, and on the store frontend, I'm signed in now as a user who has full administrative permissions in her account. So that means that besides her own profile information, besides her own data, her own orders and so on, she can also manage other users in the system. So she can create new accounts for the new employees on her team. She can enable, disable them as necessary, edit their profile information. She can manage their address books. She can restrict their permissions by actually managing their roles within her company account. But this is not the only thing that can be managed per account, besides being able to manage the individual users, besides being able to manage payment terms on the level of the accounts, like roles and permissions. You can also do apply additional limitations or restrictions in regards to what products, what parts, what portions of your catalog they see. So for example, let's say if you are selling to a larger organization, if they want to limit ability of their users to buy some specific items from their store, you can do that. Or you can do the opposite. You can say, okay, maybe by default, all my customers, unless they have an account on the website, they are not allowed to see any products. But once they apply for account, once they, their account, business account is approved, once they have been assigned some specific customer group, only after that they should be allowed to see some data. And you can do that on the level of globally for the entire system. You can do it on the level of individual websites, and you can do it differently for different categories of the products, or even kind of fine-tune it down to the level of an individual product like we see on the screen. So as you can see here on the screen, we're editing visibility or availability of a specific product, and we can limit its visibility to some specific customer groups, or even to individual, down to the level of individual customer accounts, and we can do it differently on different websites. So for example, if you are running multi-brand websites, or if you're doing international sales, you can use this functionality to limit availability of the specific product categories or of specific products on those websites to the customers, and you can do it differently for different customer groups, or even different customer accounts. Then the next level of the customization of the web content is the actual tool that allows you to manage web content for the website. And in this case, this includes not only catalog data, not only categories or products, but it also includes ability to actually fully control the website structure, to control the website sitemap. And here you can combine the catalog data, you can combine categories, products, you can combine them with landing pages, with content pages, you can combine them with some other special system pages, and you can do it differently for different websites. Like for example, okay, you may have your catalog presented differently, or different sections of the catalog organized differently for different websites, and you can fine-tune it down to the level of individual customer groups or customers. For example, now as you can see on the screen, this is a web catalog management tool, and here we say, okay, like in this specific page that's called lighting products, for all our customers, by default we will just show the products from the lighting products category. But for the specific customer group partners, in this case we want to show a different page. We want to show a special landing page that we've created for partners. And for another customer group, or for another customer, we may want to show another landing page, or maybe a specific product page, or maybe some special form instead of just showing them the contents of the category. So as you can see, you can apply this restrictions, and this allows you to actually have full control over what content, what catalog content, what landing pages and other marketing content should be available to your customers, where, at what pages, and on what websites. Then before we switch to the next topic of customizing the presentation for the customers, in this case we will be talking about price management. Let me just say that everything that you see or will see during the course of today's presentation, these are all exciting features, and we are really happy to show them to you. But we also understand that some of the companies may already have other systems in place, and if that's the case, if for example your preference is to use, let's say, your ERP system to manage prices for the products, or if you maybe have a special warehouse management application or accounting applications to deal with order submissions or invoices, that's not a problem at all, because any function in the product, and all functions are built in the modular way, so any function within OroCommerce product can actually be quite easily disabled or hidden from the user UI. So in case if your preference is to use some other application to manage some data in the system, that's absolutely fine. After enabling the integration, after hiding that no longer necessary UI in the system, like in case with prices, if price information is managed in ERP, then prices simply can come from ERP through that integrations and be used on the storefront, and you do not need to use the price list management functions within the OroCommerce. Having said that, actually let me show you what these functions are. So in OroCommerce, price management, because we understand that in B2B it's actually quite complex topics, because you can have a lot of different prices for different customer groups, for different customers. You can have contract pricing. You may need to limit availability of the pricing based on different sets of criteria. You may have quite complex price calculation formulas. So we support all that by allowing you to create unlimited number of price lists. And each of the price lists can have a virtually unlimited number of products, different units of sale. For example, that's when the same product is sold as individual items and sets, boxes, crates, containers, and so on. You can also manage base prices of your products in multiple currencies, and you can also either set the prices manually, like specific price values on the items or for specific price tiers, or you can use the calculation rules, price calculation rules and formulas that would allow you to achieve even greater flexibility by using some of the product attributes or category attributes to define the price of your products. For example, you can say, okay, maybe by default for that specific product category, because we are manufacturing it in-house, we know the manufacturing cost, so we would like the prices to be defined as, let's say, manufacturing cost plus our default margin. And then for our wholesale customers, we would just create a separate price list, and we would say that the prices in that price list for this specific category of items should be calculated as their price from the default price list, maybe with some additional discount on a larger quantity tiers, let's say, tiers above, let's say, 1,000 items or 10,000 items, and so on. Also, you can do price list scheduling to run kind of promotions. For example, run a promotion that's enabled during the last 2 weeks or maybe last month of each of the quarters. And you can also, after you've configured the price list or price list, you can assign them on the different levels. And when I say assign, I mean make them available too. So for example, you can assign price list in the system configuration to define the global pricing of the products. And if you decide not to do so, you can use, for example, this to, let's say, run a catalog-only website for not logged in customers. So unless a customer has a business account with you, unless they want to sign in, you may decide not to show prices to them at all. Just show the product information, and they would have to submit the price request form to get any pricing from you. Or you can decide, okay, maybe make some price list available by default even to the customers who do not have an account on your website. And then you can go and tune it on each of the levels. So you can go to the level of specific website and set, okay, like what kind of pricing should be available on this website. Then you go down to the level of a specific customer group, and you can tune the pricing there. And then you can also go to the level of a specific customer account, like in this case, company A account, and we can fine-tune availability of the prices here for this customer, and we can do it differently for each of the websites that this customer has been given access to. Now let's also take a look at the website management. So as I mentioned before, OroCommerce supports out of the box, provides the ability to run multiple storefront and multiple websites on the same instance, and you can use these websites for different purposes. You can use them to sell products of specific brands, or you can use them to create different websites for different geographies, different locales, and you can also, for example, run both B2B and B2B sales, or maybe B2C sales on specific websites, or even run a marketplace, as you have mentioned before. And on the level of each individual website, you can actually besides fine-tuning the existing features, besides configuring the existing features, you can also enable or disable features as necessary. For example, if you would like, let's say, to run a B2C sales website, B2C sales storefront in addition to your B2B storefront, and you can simply go to the system configuration of this B2C website and disable the features that you believe are not necessary or will not be needed by your B2C customers. For example, you can go disable RFQ, request for quote form submission. You can disable support for multiple shopping lists that we'll take a look at shortly. You can disable other functions and make this website really behave and be kind of as simple as any other B2C website in the same space. So now let's take a look at a set of the sales tools that we provide out of the box to make the work of the sales team to make more efficient, to make actually, or to bring interaction between the buyer and sellers online. So this journey for the customer can start with submission of the request a quote form on the website, or you can just simply start by calling the sales representative. So sales representative can either use one of the requests submitted from the storefront and to create a quote, create a proposal for the customer, or they can do it from scratch using the information they have from an email or the information they get on the call from the customer. And now here you see the quote management tool in OroCommerce that allows to create quotes or proposals. And as you can see, we can specify some essential details. We can include additional users to be notified both on the sales team side and on the buyer side. We can also manage like a number of additional fields, and all these fields are actually manageable. So you as a, let's say, user or configurator of the system can go to the system entity management configuration section, and you can add additional fields to some of your sales documents, and these fields will be used on the document view or document edit screens as necessary. Then on the level of individual line items in the quote proposal management tool allows you to include like regular simple offers, like, okay, maybe if the customer is requesting specifically 100 items of this product, we can sell them at this price. But you can also include additional offers, additional price tiers to incentivize sales. Like in this example, we can give additional discount to this customer on in case if they decide to buy more than 200 items. Also, we can include in quotes or proposals even the line items that are not necessarily part of your product catalog. So if you would like to include some custom service or something else, you can simply do that by switching to the free-form entry mode and typing in anything you would like to be shown on the quote, order, and later in invoice. And if you would like to charge a price for it, you can also do it by simply specifying the price for that specific item. Also, in case if the customer is asking to, if you know their delivery address, the shipping address, you can use the information from their address book, or you can enter the address manually here on the screen, and you can calculate shipping and include the shipping quotation. You can also override the shipping cost provided by the shipping carriers as necessary. You can lock the shipping method selection for the customer later on the quote acceptance screen, and you can even include some of the shipping methods that are not normally available to your customers on the storefront. And if necessary, if customer is requesting to, and if you as a sales representative who is creating this quote have a permission to do that, you can also override the default payment term that would be available to your customer based on their customer account or customer group settings. Then our order management tool actually provides the same flexibility that, again, it really depends on the permissions of the user. It really depends on the settings of the order management flow, up to which point the order is editable and what information can be edited on each of the steps based on the order status and based on other criteria. But basically, let's say once the order is just new, let's say this is the order draft and there are no restrictions for the user from the the role permission management, and there are no restrictions imposed by the order management workflow. So as you can see, users can edit any information in an order. They can replace items, they can modify quantities, they can override pricing if they have this permission. So for example, they can give a better price to the customer based on the total deal size. They can edit shipping information, payment information selection. They can override customer shipping method selection. They can edit all those additional fields that I mentioned before. And you can also, when editing an order, you can apply additional discounts, both as percentage values or some specific amounts to the orders. So now let's actually take a look at the quote that we have been editing before. Let's take a look at actually what customers can do with the quote on the storefront end. And there are multiple ways how they can actually receive this quote. So first of all, after the sales representative is done creating the quote, they can choose to notify the customer by simply sending them, it's just one button click, and it will send an email to the customer using the configurable email template that we have in the system, and that may include, for example, a link to the quote view page as a link, or it can be customized to include quote as an attachment, and you can also use out-of-band email client to send just simply a quote to a customer or a link. So basically, whenever they have an account for your storefront, and once they go to their account or once they receive that link, they can go to the quote view screen on the storefront, and they can see the quote that you've created for them. And in case of the simple quote, they would just simply start with the order submission. In case if the quote includes multiple offers, then they can choose one of the offers, or actually if you allowed them to enter any quantity of the items, we will automatically determine the correct price tier based on the quantity they've entered. And once they've done that, they would just simply have to go through the remaining steps of the checkout process to provide the information that is necessary. That may be billing information, shipping information, choose the shipping method. It was not prescribed, specified in the quote itself. Choose the payment method, and they can complete the order submission for this order that was created from the quote. Then, as a sales person, as an account manager, you can see all activity of your customers on the combined account view, which is actually part of our CRM tools, that besides the combined 360-degree view of your customers' activity, that allows you to see their sales activity, all interactions with this customer across one or multiple channels that may include data from the OroCommerce online store front ends, or you can also bring data from other systems, like for example from marketplaces, from your ERP system, from some other online or offline channels into the system, and you can see all the activity in one place. You can see the metrics that are collected and calculated across those channels, like lifetime sales value, RFM, recency, frequency, monetization metrics. And just probably to mention, because we do not have enough time today, what kind of other tools we also provide out of the box, like campaign management, ability to manage marketing lists, web tracking and analytics tool that actually, unlike, let's say, Google Analytics, this tool provides you greater visibility into what customers, what users, because these are your users, right? So you have their data, so you can actually do advanced segmentation based on what users do on the storefront end and who did what. We've already seen the web catalog management tool, CMS content management tools, a powerful reporting and segmentation engine that gives you access to all the data that is there in the system, so you can use that to customize any of the reports that are included out of the box or create your own ones. We also have a number of tools that can be used to improve interaction with and communication with your customers, like simple task management, call login, ability to have different contact requests form on the storefront end, and specific workflows in the backend attached to those requests. We also have simple support case management, and actually a lot of other tools that I would really like you to check with us for the private demo if you would like to see them. For now, let me just quickly show you just a few examples of the, in this case, dashboards that can be configured in this system. And as you can see, we have a number of widgets that you can use to create and customize these dashboards, and these dashboards can be set up differently for different teams in the system, because like your sales team may need to see one set of metrics on the dashboard, executive team may need to see like a different set of the KPIs and business metrics on their dashboard. So all that can be configured using the widgets that we have available. Then also, as you can see on this screen with this switcher, let me just show you that the UI of the system is fully responsive, so you are not limited, you are not tied to your desktop or laptop. You can actually use this I mean, you can use your mobile or a tablet device to access the system on the go, and you will have ability to actually do anything you can do from the laptop or desktop machine. Now let's take a quick look at the storefront end, just to show you a few examples of what can be done on the storefront end. And OroCommerce storefront end, it's using template-based, layout-based themes. So front-end developers have full control over the content on the storefront, and they can customize look and feel based on the customer design requirements, and they can also rearrange any content on the screen as necessary. Add some functional blocks, remove some functional blocks if not necessary, or move them around per specification, per design requirements. Just a few examples of that. For example, on the product listing in the category view, for example, you can have a simpler listing that you can use to show like pictures and graphical imaging of your products and some basic information. You can simplify this view, for example, for some category that includes only some kind of simple supplies, materials, maybe nuts and bolts, to have a more condensed view for your customer. You can also have a view, like more balanced one with proper balance of graphical imaging and information. Then, as you may have noticed on each of these views, and the same applies to the product view pages, search result pages, basically anywhere the customer sees the product information, if they have ability, if that function is enabled, if they have ability to order this product, then they would have this button add to shopping list or add to current order. As you can see, this button is actually a drop down, and there is a reason for that, because we allow customers on the storefront and to work on multiple orders simultaneously. So we call this function shopping list, but we know that in different industries, different merchants or customers may call it differently, like saved shopping carts, multiple shopping carts and wish lists, projects, and so on. Again, the labeling is configurable, it can be changed. The idea is simply the same. So your customer may be currently working on a large order with, let's say, hundreds of line items, and at any moment of time, if necessary, they can quickly switch to add a few more items to a different order and complete submission of each of these orders independently from one another. So whenever they do that, as you can see, for example, here on the screen, we have this specific customer user. They have 4 open orders at different stages of the order submission. So one of the orders was started from the quote screen, another order was started from one of their shopping list, and so on and so on. Basically, once they are ready, once they have all the information necessary, they can complete submission of each of these orders independently. And at any moment of time, they can switch between these shopping lists, and they can either create an order or request a quote if the function was enabled for this specific store front-end website. We also have a quick order form page or tool that allows your customers, especially customers who buy from you frequently and know exactly what they want to buy, to quickly create and submit large orders, and they can search the products by the item SKUs. They can search products by manufacturer numbers, by basically any attributes that you want to make searchable. In this form, they can specify the quantities of the items, and right from this screen, they can either start the checkout process immediately, they can add these items to one of their shopping lists, or they can request a quote from you if this function is enabled on the storefront end. They can also use, for example, this area on the right to copy-paste the content of an email from their colleague if it includes some product attributes that can be used to identify the products and quantities. They can do just that. And also, in case if they have a purchase list or purchase file in Excel, CSV, or OpenOffice format, they can use the import function on this page to also add those items and either start the checkout process immediately, save them to one of the shopping lists, or request a quote from the merchant. And for the end of this product feature demonstration, I've already mentioned it a few times shortly, but let me spend a few minutes on that to talk more about workflows in the system. So we understand that, and this is actually one of our mottos, that no two businesses are alike, and that's especially true in B2B sales, because in B2C a lot of the e-commerce sales processes are quite similar, but in B2B the processes needs to be customized, and they vary greatly based on the industry that you are in, and also you may often need to have the ability to customize your sales process based on who you are selling to. So for example, for smaller customers in your industry, you may be using one kind of the sales process. For larger customers, you may need a different kind of sales approach, and for example, if you start to work with large government organizations, you may need to change the way your sales team or your account management team works with them totally differently from what you use when you work with any other customers. So all interactions of users with the system, of users with each other, both in the management UI of the system, in the back office, and on the storefront, and can be customized by applying workflows. And these workflows allow you to modify basically what users see and what they can do on the in the UI, in the management console and on the storefront, and what kind of questions the system should ask them, what kind of buttons should be available to them, when it happens, and how actually the system should behave. And just as an example of that, let me show you, for example, how workflows can be customized for the front end, but it's not the only way of using workflows, because as I've said, you can customize workflows for the front end and for the back office as well. So on the front end, example could be like account registration, account application flow, or request submission flow, quote acceptance flow, checkout flow. And in the admin, it could be, for example, a quote preparation flow, because maybe some of your sales representatives need to ask for additional approvals before they are able to sell and to send a quote to a customer. Order management, order fulfillment flows, they can also be customized using the workflows. Basically, anything you see in the admin UI or anything you can see on the front end can be customized by applying workflows. So now let's actually take a look at checkout workflow specifically, because checkout is also one of the examples of the configurable workflow-based process. So that means that checkout experience for your customers on the storefront end can be customized by you and can be made differently, and you can have actually multiple checkout workflows enabled at the same time in the system, and you can configure when each of these flows should be used. So for example, a traditional simplified checkout flow would be customers going through quite straightforward sequence of steps, specifying billing address, shipping address information, choosing shipping method, providing their payment information, and completing this with the order review and submission. But also, for example, you can add additional steps to the checkout flow, and I just want to quickly show you an example of how a workflow can be customized. And in this case, workflow was customized for just one of the customers in the system, and it was customized by adding additional order approval steps, because this customer, for example, they have an additional restriction and they want all orders exceeding $5,000 in total to be reviewed and approved by the department managers before actually order gets submitted to you, gets submitted to merchant. So let's take a quick look at the normal checkout sequence on the storefront. And so as you can see, I'm signed in as a user Amanda Cole. This user is from the customer account company A, and this account, they just use a regular checkout sequence. So enter billing address, enter shipping address, choose a shipping method, choose a payment method, review the order, and complete it with the order submission. So I can click on submit order and order will be created. But as you can see, if I go now on the store frontend, this is exactly the same website, same store frontend, but on this store frontend, I'm signed in as a different customer, as a different user. So this is the user Maureen Bradley that belongs to a different account. And for this customer account, in this demo, I've enabled alternative checkout flow, and this alternative checkout flow includes those additional steps that I've mentioned. So because this user, the specific user, Marlene Bradley, she doesn't have permission to submit orders exceeding $5,000, then when she gets to the order after the order review step, she cannot actually click on a submit order button. She has to request approval from her manager, and after she does that, her manager will receive notification. They will log into the system, review this order, and only after this order gets approved, only after that this order can be finally completed, finally submitted. And what you see here in the workflow management UI, it's actually the sequence of the steps that can be added, changed, or removed from each of the flows. And there are multiple levels to customizing these. So a lot of the simpler things, simpler flows can be simply managed through the workflow management UIs, through the workflow manager here, but also you can do even more advanced things by editing the workflow configuration files, and that could be an experienced, let's say, system analyst, business analyst, or a developer who can do that based on your requirements. And besides managing the forms, the screens, and the transitions, they can also do a lot of the advanced things. They can, for example, include API calls to external systems, because, for example, during the order management flow or the fulfillment flow, maybe it's necessary to make some API calls to your ERP or warehouse management system. So that can be done by editing workflow configuration files. And also, if in case of developers, they can also call any custom code if necessary to perform any complex calculations or perform any actions as necessary when modifying the workflows. So this was the last feature that I wanted to show you today on the demo. Now, after the product demo, we will run a quick poll. So if you would like us to contact you after the demo, sometime after the demo, and to discuss some of the specific use cases that you have, or to talk about some specific features, we will be running a quick poll. So please just simply choose yes or no. And if you choose yes, we will contact you, and we will schedule enough time to answer any of your questions individually. So just a few more seconds for the people to reply. Again, it's just simple yes, no. Okay, it seems like our sales team will have a lot of work to do after the demo, so we'll be happy to show you all those individual features. And now let me switch quickly back to the presentation, because I would like to say a few words about our plans for this year. So as you have mentioned, we've just released the first version, first stable release of OroCommerce back in January this year, and as you can see, the product already includes a lot of the features. But we simply do not stop working. We keep working on adding more exciting features and addressing more of the needs, more of the requests from our partners and customers in B2B space. So we will be later this year. We will be adding a full set of marketing automation tools that would allow you to quickly manage and easily manage and address like different customer follow-up scenarios. We will also be adding the sales regions management, sales team management tools that would allow you to set the goals and manage the goals and track the goals execution by your sales team. As you have mentioned, we've also started to work on some of the B2B marketplace functionalities. So a lot of that can be already achieved by using the out-of-the-box functions like permission management, organization management in the system, but we will try to simplify that and address some of the specific use cases then that companies in the B2B marketplace space may need. We will also be adding promotions engines and support for coupons management and coupons applications. We will also allow or provide a set of the tools to allow cost center management, budget management, ability to simply configure credit limits for accounts, for examples. We will also be improving the catalog management and catalog presentations on the front end by adding support for product kits or bundles, support for add-ons and replacement items management. We are also working on a number of additional payment, shipping, and ERP integrations that will be available later this year. We will also provide a few different examples of starting from the simple default ones to more complex ones of order management and order fulfillment flows. We are also going to keep adding some of the new exciting B2C store front-end features. We will enable guest checkouts. So a lot of the features will be made available later this year. And if you are following our blog, you may have already seen a recent announcement that we are changing our release scheduling. So there will be two large feature releases released every year. So basically every 6 months, there will be a large feature release. And in between those large feature releases, we will also have a smaller release every 2 months. Also later this year, in addition to our Oro Cloud offering ability to use our cloud to run Oro CRM or OroCommerce instance, not to deal with any issues of managing your own hosting infrastructure, because all of our products are available both can be used both on-premise and or you can use our cloud to host them. So in order to improve that cloud scenario, we will be releasing self-serve paths, which would allow your IT team or the partner who is supporting your installation to have a greater control over the code, over the extensions, customizations that you have in our cloud. And we also later this year will be releasing some of the training materials and starting the training program that can be used by developers or partners or customers to train their developers, to train their IT team.
Thank you very much, Michael. And I know we are running over a little bit in time, so again, we respect your time. This is being recorded, so if you have to leave to another meeting or have other plans, we do understand. If you want to stick around for a couple more minutes, we have a few announcements, and we'll go through some of the questions. But questions we don't get to will be answered on our blog or in person if you want to talk to us directly. So about announcements, like Michael, first of all, thank you, Michael, for the demo. I just also want to point out quickly that we do, differently from other platforms, specifically in the e-commerce space, we do focus on two main personas in the system, both the buyers and the sellers. So you saw that there's a lot of features both on the front end, but also a lot of attention to the features in the back end. And just take that into mind when you are designing these kind of solutions for B2B companies. You need to solve for the sellers as well as the buyers. About our announcements, like Michael said, we do have two major releases or two minor releases a year. The next one is coming by the end of this month. and we will release Oro Platform version 2.1, Oro CRM version 2.1, and OroCommerce version 1.1. So stay tuned for that release. We also have a few events coming up around the world. The next one is Oro Meetup in Netherlands. It's in April 19th. More information is on our website and on the Morello website as well. We also have B2B Online in Chicago, May 8th to 10, IRC Chicago, June 6th to 9th. Oro Vibe, our first French community event, is organized by our partners in France, and we're going to be in Paris in June 13th. And Oro Vibe Berlin, we're still working on the date, so stay tuned to that on our website as well. With that, we'll jump quickly to some of the Q&A. We've been answering some of them in the panel already, so you can actually read some of it. But let me try and pick and choose. And again, we do apologize for going over. If you need to leave us right now, we understand. We will not get insulted. We know you're busy, and we'll post some of these online as well. So one question that came, is it possible to have more than one sales rep per to serve specific customers? And the answer is yes. There's multiple ways we can do that, by ownership, by setting up a multiple sales representative, or assigning accounts to business units or teams, etc. So there's multiple ways to support that, and the answer is yes. Can you share a little bit of the extendability in terms of the portal, storefront versus admin backend? So the product, like we mentioned a few times, we develop very flexible products. The product is extendable both on the theme and layout. It allows full customization of the front end and the back end. And you can create features that are maybe not there or then you specifically need, or if you actually need to just modify a feature we have. It's completely modular and flexible, and you can actually do that. How do I said multiple cumulative discounts based on type of payments for individual customers, like 15% plus 5% cash payments, 3%, etc. So all this can be done, like we said, using our price list. There's more advanced ways to do this in the price list. We didn't go through all of that. So again, if you're interested to learn more about prices, please contact us, and we'll definitely address a lot of that as well. Let's see, again, really good questions. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to get through all of them. There's a question about integration with Akeneo PIM. Yes, this is in the works already through our partner that is working on that, and we expect this bridge to be released. We already have projects that are using it, so I think it will be officially released to everybody soon, and yes, it's going to be integrated. So there's a question about the German market and how we are considering the country or regional aspects for legal and taxation in Germany. We see Germany as one of our most exciting markets, and we have a really big effort to invest in the solution there, as in France, as in UK, and there is going to be a release of a German kind of modules that are going to be we're going to be adding to our products, so we can actually support a lot of these out of the box for the German market, and like I said, for the French market and the UK market as well. Let's see. There's a question about PDF. This is a feature that can we send quotes and everything as PDF, and the answer is that it's coming very soon. So this is a feature that we'll be adding very soon to the solution. There's a question about does the community version support multiple organizations? The answer is not really. This is a feature that is available in our Enterprise Edition. You can run multiple organizations under a single install and completely decide how the data is segregated between the different entities, and then still have a super admin that has access to everything. So again, that's not supported fully in the Community Edition, but it is supported fully in the Enterprise Edition. The technical question: will we support Symfony 3 and PHP 7? And we'll upgrade to Symfony 3 after a long-term release of 3.4 release, and you can expect this early next year. So there's a question about product attributes. Can you control it? And the answer is yes. And again, if you need more information on that, you can really contact us or check out the product. You can create custom attributes as you need in the system to represent products. question about Italian translation. Yes, check out Crowdin. There's a link there. You can actually check it and contribute to the Italian translation if needed. There's a lot of good questions. License and price model for the E. Again, please contact us and we'll definitely talk to you in more terms of that, but it is a commercial open source license of the Enterprise Edition product. There's a question about performance issue. I'm not sure if they're asking us to create performance issues, but we're actually really investing a lot in performance and scalability, and we are going to release some white papers on the performance, and that's going to come soon as well. But we are constantly testing the product for large catalogs, large number of accounts, large number of orders, and large number of users in the system at all, sales reps as included. So we'll release some white papers on that pretty soon. There's a question about are we recording it, and yes, this was recorded, and we're going to make this recording available through our blog. So just if you need to reference it again, please check out our blog. There's a question here, does the admin suffer from performance issues as Magento did? So again, we're very, very targeting the admin as much as we target the front end in terms of performance and users. We actually have accounts that have up to 50,000 backend users using the system. So again, that's something that we definitely are aware of, and we're putting a lot of attention on performance of the application. There's a question here, do we support B2B and B2C scenarios? So like Michael said, you can run today multiple websites or in a single website, even based on the customer and customer types. You can actually support a B2C scenario right now, but we're also enhancing some of it, like Michael mentioned. So you can run, and we get this a lot from B2B companies that also want to have a B2C presence. Sometimes it's just an open catalog with no pricing and no ability to check out, but sometimes they also want to cater to consumers. And they can do that using our system. Again, we are going to add more and more features to support that as well. There's a question about documentation and are we going to improve it? Yes, we're constantly investing in documentation, and you can check it out, and we're constantly releasing more and more documentation and more training materials. There's a question about what databases we support. So out of the box, we support MySQL for the Community Edition and MySQL and PostgreSQL for the Enterprise Edition. We also have implementation in the Enterprise Edition for using Elasticsearch for all the search and navigation in the website. So it allows you to scale much more and get a better performance on the catalog as well. There's a question about partners in Brazil. We have partners that do service the South American market as well. Please contact us and we'll make introductions. Okay, I'll take the last question here, and then again, there's some really great questions. We're trying to answer all of them, but is there an audit log integration? So all data is being audited and built by a built-in feature that we have, so you can actually see exactly what user did what in the system and get the log of all that. So with that, again, I really apologize for going way over time. I'm thanking a lot of you for staying along, and we are going to make this all available. Please make sure to join us to our future webinars. Contact us if you need more questions. We will be happy to answer a lot of this. Again, thank you very, very much for joining us today, and have a great day.